Hello everyone, and welcome to a new series. It's just been over a year since I started my first series here on YouTube, and now we're starting a new one with a lovely clean slate. We've got the usual mods, including of course Create and a bunch of its add-ons. We've got Farmer's Delight to give us a wide range of food and crops, an updated version of Vanilla Backport giving us access to the new sulfur caves, and not to mention mods like Chipped, Supplementaries, Sophisticated Backpacks, and more. You'll of course be able to grab this mod pack off of Modrinth if it gets approved by the time this video goes up, and we'll have our usual world downloads and schematics available to patrons and YouTube members. I think now it's time to get started. And as you can see behind me, I did actually build a little mini village before I actually started this series. We have our kind of town hall as such and our little store. And essentially in here, all we have is our mayor, who is a frog. Do not question his authority. But we have just this little guy sitting here with some seats for any kind of town hall meetings and his living quarters, including a cool little kitchen using some of the Farmer's Delight stuff, little study with some handcrafted desks and such. And obviously if we come upstairs, we have a little bedroom as well with some more books and things. And of course you can see I have been making use of the new Minecraft shells which came in the copper backport, I believe. And I honestly love how they look so far, so these are probably going to be used a lot this series. And then as for our little store over here, we do just have one little villager in here who is our farmer villager. Their name is Vernon. That was completely randomized, I did not name them that. But we can get some emeralds from selling potatoes and wheat from him. This is just a cute little store that I've kind of decorated with some vegetables and stuff. And the focus of the series, I definitely want to build out this village a little bit more. I think with my last series, it was a very industrial town, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I think I want to add a little bit more life to it compared to the last one. But now really for us, I need to actually go and get things. I need to obviously get my tools and whatnot and go down into caves and stuff and grab ourselves some iron and things. So obviously the first thing we do in Minecraft is cut down a tree. And I do have a mod that helps clear the leaves as quickly as possible, just so they aren't hanging around everywhere. But let's go ahead and make ourselves a crafting table, of course. Let's just throw this down real quick and actually finally make ourselves our first pickaxe. Now I need to go and find a cave or some mines, and I've just actually seen on my map there's this like bit of red over here, which I think is actually crimsite, which is obviously from Create. Oh, there is a wandering trader here. I guess they spawned at some point, selling a bunch of things that I don't really particularly need right now. But hopefully other than crimsite, we can actually get some other things here too. We've got some zinc ore, but I can't mine that just yet. And let me clear out some of these vines that have grown down. I think I turned that off in the settings. I'll have to go and check that in terms of their growth. But we do have some coal here, so I'm going to grab some of that. I know I haven't played, obviously, very early Minecraft for like a whole year since the beginning of my last series. Man, is the wood pickaxe slow. But now that we actually do have some cobblestone, let's upgrade this to a cobblestone pick so we're not here all day. And actually what I should probably do as well is grab 3 more, just so I can make ourselves a stone axe to pick up our crafting table a little bit quicker. I think what I'm going to do is grab as much materials as we can down here, including copper. I feel like I neglected getting a bunch of copper before, and that was very difficult for me when I eventually needed it in my last series. Actually, let's place some torches down while I'm going down here. But I'm going to just grab some iron and stuff, ready to make some armor. And there is a creeper behind me. I wish it wasn't. Okay, there's 2. Okay. Let's not get killed straight away. Okay, I did grab some various materials. I've got quite a bit of iron, but it is now dark outside, which is not ideal. And I'm gonna end up getting murdered because I don't have any food. You know what? I probably should have thought about that first. You know, it's a good thing this is not hardcore because I have half a heart and I'm probably going to die, let's be real. And there it is. Okay, well, for the meantime, we're actually just going to go into our mayor's home here, and honestly, I think I'm just going to go sleep in his bed. Let's make it daylight, shall we? If you're wondering, the mod that did the night to day transition is Better Days. Quite a nice one, isn't it? I actually installed that mod specifically so I could increase the length of days. I think is it 3 times longer? Let me actually go check. Okay, no, actually, I made it half speed, so days are twice as long as they were before. And honestly, that's more for my sanity, because I generally think that Minecraft days are too short. And especially with shaders kind of make it even more extreme. So we'll get more daylight at least. And now that it's morning, let's go back to my body. Luckily, all the other mobs have left, so we're good. Oh, except for the skeleton. Now, I do plan to actually build a house here at some point. But obviously, I need to get all the materials for that first. So I think I am going to keep using our town hall here for a little bit. And I'm just going to throw some stuff into here as our temporary storage. I'm also going to make a cobblestone furnace. I don't know why I said cobblestone furnace. That's all the furnaces. I think I'm just going to go and smelt all of the iron that I currently have. And that'll help us with surviving those mobs, rather than being completely naked. And while we wait for that to happen, I can obviously talk to you about this mod pack a little bit more. We are once again using Terralith for our landscaping. And honestly, behind me, I think looks really cool. This nice kind of mountain. And we do have these purpley jungle trees up there. I have to go investigate that a little bit later. One of the actual major differences of Terralith between the last mod pack and this one is that they finally fixed Superflat. You can now actually have Superflat properly with Terralith on. Creative builds are going to be a lot more easier now. But anyway, let's just grab the iron that we already have. I'm going to make myself an iron pick and some very basic armor. Let's grab some more and just, let's make another helmet. And we can just have some boots and a helmet for now. And what I think I'm actually going to do, excuse me, Jerica, is I'm going to go find a village. I do need some food. And obviously, in theory, I could just steal from the grocery store. But I don't want to do that. I want to go find a village and see if we can grab some crops and stuff. So I think the best thing to do is go follow the water. Obviously, in real life, typically towns and villages do appear along water, but this is Minecraft, so that might not actually be the case. Let's go down here anyway. And of course, it starts to rain, which is not ideal for me, because that means mobs are going to start spawning. But we also get a glimpse at some of these purple trees, actually, which are part of the Amethyst Canyon / Rainforest, I believe. And if we need calcite, I certainly know where to find it, because there's plenty here. And of course, this is also a thundery one as well. I need to go find some wool, I think, so I can actually make myself a proper bed for me, or at least one that I can carry around. And actually, there is some melon here, so let's grab this as well. And this can be our little bit of food source, so we don't die to hunger. And lo and behold, a village at the end of this river. Quite handy for us right now. I do wish I brought enough iron to shear this sheep, but maybe there's some to be found in our town here. Well, there's certainly food, that's for sure, so we'll grab all this stuff. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to sleep in this bed temporarily, because I don't want the rain anymore. There we go, much better. And oh, there's a skeleton horse here. I did hear... Oh my god, okay. Why are we spawning this stuff? I'm being saved. Thank you, Iron Golem. Although you are looking very damaged. I'm sorry. But now we just have a bunch of skeleton horses. Maybe I'll make one of these by horses at some point. But we'll leave them here for now. I don't know if they're going to despawn or not. But I am just going to loot this village for all the stuff that it has and see what I get. Now, on the positive side, this village has definitely had plenty of food. I've got a whole inventory full of it, but didn't have any iron. So I did go and find some raw iron. I'm just gonna throw in some planks and just get one more piece for us so we can actually make some shears. There are some sheep in here which I can shear, so that will be very useful. But I'm going to head back home because I don't have anywhere to place this stuff and I haven't made a backpack yet. So let me go do that real quick. I will say this canyon is definitely quite beautiful during the day. It was a little bit harder to see when it was thunder and lightning earlier. And there we go, we are back in town and let's go throw our stuff into our temporary crate for now. I also went ahead and actually finally got the rest of the iron out of our furnace, so we're now fully kitted up. And we can now also make ourselves a black sleeping bag, although it looks like handcrafted is actually currently messing with that. Okay, I ended up installing a mod so we can switch this out. And there's our sleeping bag. So obviously it is daytime at the moment, but the nice thing about this sleeping bag, you can place it down and just sleep in it without saving our spawn point. And actually, speaking of which, I need to go and save mine again. Just gonna go back into our mayor's house and reset our spawn point up in the town hall again. And now that we have our sleeping bag, I need a backpack. And like we asked, they aren't too difficult to make. We just need to have a chest, some leather, and some string. And I currently have 2 string, but it'd be nice to have a little bit more than that. And I need to go find some cows for their leather. And it's tempting to kill the cows closest to my base, but I am going to go a little bit further because I'm sure I'm going to need those later for a farm. And this way we could also, you know, see what's around here. And actually, by the looks of it, we have some form of desert to the south of us. And it's specifically called a lush desert. You can see why. We've got some tomato shrubs, got some bushes, and these little cacti with the little flowers on top. We even have some camels. Hi guys. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some cows. And a little bit of a journey later, where I certainly went around a little bit, I did find some more cows. And then I also found the entrance to a mine shaft of sorts, which actually had some cobwebs. So that's where I got my extra string from. So now we should be quite easily able to make our backpack with our 4 string, 4 leather, and a chest. And then we also should have enough to probably make a iron one. I think we just got to wrap this all the way around. And there we go. We now have an iron backpack for us. And this pretty much gives us a double chest worth of storage and a couple of upgrades that we can add onto it as well. And I'm sure I'm going to need to make those soon. But let's place this onto our back. Looking very nice. And now actually what I should probably do is go back to my storage here and grab myself some of the seeds that I picked up. Probably going to mostly just do our wheat and potato for now. Maybe throw in some carrots for good measure. And we're going to make a home and we're going to just head down to the water here for a little temporary farm setup. We'll obviously be automating our farms and stuff with Create at some point, but you know, we're in early days, so we're just going to do the classic method. And there we go, there's all our crops planted, and I have realized that we do actually have some rice here. I think I just break it, yeah. And then I can just replant these to get some more of it. And now that's done, I do want to collect some materials to actually build myself a little house in our village here. And I obviously want it to match the rest of my town here. So we're going to need some tufts, some stone, and some moss, I think, for our mossy cobblestone. As well as some granite that we use for the roofs, some jungle wood, which obviously we are kind of already in the jungle, so that's quite easy. And one of the more difficult things is getting our spruce. And I'm sure there's a biome around here for that. I'm just going to have to go find it. But before we do any of that, I do want an easier way to cut down these trees here. The Create mod has a saw that you can kind of place down at the bottom of a tree and it will cut down the entire tree for you. But we need to make a saw. And to make our saw, we need some iron, an andesite casing, and some iron sheets. And the andesite casing is just made with some andesite alloy and some stripped wood. But of course, to actually make our iron sheets, we're going to need a press. To make a press, we need a shaft, a block of iron, and some more of our andesite casing. So I need to go find andesite. And I think I remember correctly when I was running to the village over here, that I think some of this wall over here is actually covered in the andesite that we need. And because I'm playing with Terralith, the kind of typical underground method of getting andesite is not quite the same. It kind of appears in caves instead, as in like andesite caves rather than in random clusters. So we're going to have to kind of find one of those a little bit later on. But for now, can indeed come up to our cliff here. And oh yeah, there's plenty of andesite up here. And also a very deep bit of water. That's weirdly square. But anyway, let's grab some andesite from here. And I don't want it to look too ugly, so I'll kind of just shave off the very tops of some of these layers. And there we go, we've just got over a stack of the stuff. That should at least do for now. And it's like I was never even here. Now it is getting pretty dark now, so I think what I'll do real quick is cut down one of these trees over here, as we are going to need some wood to strip. And you know what? I think we can make use of our sleeping bag for once. I'm going to do it a little bit over near the light so I don't get surrounded by mobs. But we get to kind of see the night go by while we were sleeping there. And let's just lay out some of this wood so that we can strip it. And then I do need to break down some of this iron into iron nuggets, because that's what we actually need to make our andesite alloy. And honestly, we probably need a little bit more than this in the long run. So I have to go find some more of that. But for now, let's make our press. Although that reminds me, we do need a block of iron for our press here. So maybe it is time to actually go and get some iron now. And actually, now that I have my iron pick, I can grab some of this zinc ore, which is going to also be useful actually for us, because we can also use zinc nuggets for some of our create recipes as well. Because we are actually in a jungle biome, we are pretty much surrounded by this kind of mossy caves, which is probably going to be very useful actually to grab for our mossy cobblestone. And luckily we also have a hoe, so we can break this pretty quickly actually. Some amount of time later, I have actually come across some granite here underground. We must be near some granite caves, which is very convenient for us, I won't lie, because otherwise we probably would have had to go searching for them. Although in my overworld search, probably would have found some over in our arid highlands, but actually we're currently underneath the Amethyst Canyon, so that's kind of interesting. We'll try and grab as much of this as we can, while also hoping to find a bit more iron as well, I think. And there we go, with over a stack of iron, let's come back to our furnace, hook some up, grab some of the iron, make ourselves an iron block as well as some more nuggets for some more andesite alloy. We can use andesite alloy to make ourselves some shafts, to actually make our press. And to be able to actually use the press, we're going to need a hand crank. We're probably also going to need a couple of cogwheels for this, I think. I think I'm just going to temporarily just use the side of this building here. Although I don't currently have a wrench, so I need to make sure this is turned the right way. Actually, you might be able to just do this with a normal hand crank, so I'm going to put some iron down, press this, that bonks, and we just need to do this 2 more times. You have to be a little bit careful with this because it actually takes up some of our hunger. But there is our 3 iron sheets, which should then mean we can make our saw. So now if we pop off over here again and just grab this hand crank, I can just come up to one of these trees, place it on the bottom, preferably in the correct direction. There we go. Use our hand crank to spin that around. And there we go, cuts down the entire tree so we can pick up all the wood off the ground without having to climb back up. So that's definitely going to be super handy for us. And what I think I'm going to actually go do now is go find our spruce trees, as well as some maybe other wood types as well. I'm sure they're going to be very useful for us crafting later on. We are now on our way back home from finding that pale oak place, and we certainly went quite the distance from our hometown over here, so it's going to take me a little bit to get back. But we obviously now have, I think, all of the wood types that we need. I may be forgetting one, and honestly, if I am, then I'll just have to go and get it. But we do have our pale oak, our spruce, obviously some oak, some birch, cherry, and I just realized I only got 1 dark oak sapling, so I'll grab some more of that on my way back. In fact, we can stop right here. There we go. That should hopefully give us plenty. We are back home. I realize in retrospect, the word that I forgot about, mangrove. Forgot about mangrove, but that's okay. We'll have to find it another time, and it's not necessary for what I need to build today. Let's actually place down some of these spruce trees, as also we need them to grow for some more of our spruce wood, my favorite type of wood, and I'm pretty sure everyone else's too. And I'm also going to cut down some more of these jungle trees. One, just to clear out a bit of land, but also for our home too. And speaking of homes, I think I figured out exactly where I want mine to be. And we do have this like little bit of cliff here. I was thinking of placing it right on top, with a door kind of facing towards this direction and a little bit of a wood path coming out the side of it to meet up with the rest of the buildings over here. But let's start getting the basics of our building here, with a mixture of our mossy cobblestone, normal stone, as well as our tough bricks. And with the kind of basic wall up, I'm going to just throw down some jungle planks for the actual inside floor. And then with all that floor in, I do want to make myself some of these spruce pane windows from the Coords. And we are going to need to make some of these window bases. And luckily for us, I did smelt some glass earlier in preparation for this, so that we can go in ahead and make quite a few of these. And I think 32 should be plenty for now. So let's throw these in where we want them. And that gives us quite a few windows to actually look out of, and we can obviously open these, which actually also allows us to get in and out if we so desired. But I like how these look from the outside as well. Now, of course, this thing needs a roof, so we're going to use a mixture of our granite types and some jungle planks to go all the way around our roof, making sure to also bring up a little bit of the chimney as well. And then we can start throwing in some details as well. I've added some azalea leaves to the roof here, and I do want to add a little campfire up here. And we can wrap that around with some of our spruce shelves, and that gives us a nice little chimney effect. And I want to add some of these spruce fences and gates to hold up the edges of the roof and to give it a bit of extra detailing, as well as adding some leaves on the sides. And then a kind of final major part of this building is adding a bit of a pathway at the front using a mixture of our spruce fences and half slabs, including the path that I mentioned earlier to connect up with the rest of our village. But yeah, there we go. There is the more or less finished design. And I added a couple more features, including some of this lattice to go up with some vines and sunflowers and stuff. And then I did a very basic inside to here as well, including a little bit of a bed, which actually I should move my spawn point to here instead. We've got some flowers. I moved in my mechanical press to the inside here. Got a little tiny fireplace. Moved my stone cutter here as well, and I've added a couple bits of storage around as well, which I need to move everything over still from the town hall to in here. And I do like how I can just come out from my door here and see the environment around me. I love the river going by, and certainly just saw out those trees because they certainly don't belong there anymore. Those were for farming purposes, of course. But yeah, I think the next kind of building I would like to have over here is maybe some form of workshop. I think I'd like to have like a house and a separate workshop which has all my little crate contraptions in once I get that far. Probably have to have a little mini storage warehouse around here somewhere, but I can figure that out as I go along. You know what? As much as I like this armor and backpack being on, I like my own skin better. So I'm actually going to hide this stuff using our cosmetic armor options, and there we go, back to my classic giraffe skin. Much better in my opinion. But yeah, I think I'm actually going to wrap up the episode here. We obviously got our house nicely built, we got to meet the new mayor, our little grocery store here, and we got to explore quite a lot of the world actually, trying to find some of these different wood types and stuff. And definitely found a lot of villages plotted along the way, so we can go and visit those again at some point. But I hope you enjoyed this first episode of the series. There's obviously plenty more to come. Like I said, I still want to keep expanding this village. We'll add a little bit of industry and stuff with all our crate contraptions and whatnot. But yeah, I'm excited for the future of the series and hope you guys are enjoying it as well. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye for now.